Just so you guys know a little bit about me, my name is Meg. I'm a New Englander. I've lived in Los Angeles for the last 11 years. And this year for me, it's really about coming home. Literally, coming home. But coming home to a part of my life that I left, and coming home to fully embrace all of who I am. Because I think along the way, we play roles, or we have identities, and we, take them, and then we leave them, and then we take them, and then we leave them. And so my former life was a performer. I was a dancer, choreographer, singer, stage. It's my favorite place in the whole world. But I also had to go on a really deep healing journey, which started when I was in high school. And when I moved out to Los Angeles, the intention was, obviously, but I realized really quickly that that wasn't my path. And along the way, I have been fascinated with the idea of energy and angels and intuition, a lot of which I know you're going to speak on later, Rachel. And so I kind of detached this performer part of me and just said, well, I'm going to go do spiritual healing now and teaching. So you have to stay behind. But whenever we leave a part of ourselves behind, we feel it. And I felt it for a long time. And so I'm going to say a lot of words today, and I want you to think of them as anchors, just to help you remember, to sink in, to get back to what's important, to what's sacred. And the first one is permission. I want you to have the permission, to give yourselves the permission to want what you want, to take up space in a room, even if it looks ridiculous. Like I'm sure I did. To give yourself the permission to nourish yourself. So if you need a muffin, which I did, go get yourself a muffin. If you need just some air outside, a bathroom break, some water. I know, for me, I was raised as a good girl. You sit, you be quiet, you do what you're told. You don't make a scene, unless you're on stage. And so a lot of my life, I didn't ask for what I wanted. I didn't think I could. So the first piece of permission, and this is going to be great going into the holidays, where we have expectations of us, by family, by friends, to give yourself the grace and space to take what you need, so that you can show up for everyone. In love, in compassion, in joy. We can't do that when we don't have any energy. We can't do that when we're compartmentalizing everything and just trying to cope. So when you go home, look in your calendar, find some intentional spaces to create just for you. Just for you. Little pockets of sacred nourishment. And whatever that looks like to you, whatever fills you up, start putting yourself in your own schedule. Start making yourself a priority. Because each one of you is a sacred goddess that we so need in this world. And it's your time. It's always been your time. But if you don't take it for yourself, then you can't step fully into what you want, as Laurel said. The other piece is, so a lot of what I teach is on the divine feminine. What is that? I was, at the time, a coach, and I was doing high-level coaching, and I had structured my business as I thought I was supposed to, as I saw all the coaches doing it. 24/7 access to me, great, yep, absolutely, because that provides a lot of value, right? All of me. I really quickly learned that if you're a healer or a sensitive in any sort of way, 24/7 access is just not a good idea. Just abandon that altogether. And I started to get burnt out, and I started to feel, what was I doing? And along the way, I had picked up these modalities and studied with these amazing teachers, but I didn't feel like I was doing my work. I felt like I was doing theirs. And I felt like I was structuring a business and running a business that wasn't even mine. It didn't honor me at all. I was not even in the plan of my business. All of my clients were. People pleaser, perfectionist. Anyone else? Yeah. So I had just gotten married, high of my life, time of my life. Definitely played that song. And I came back to Los Angeles, and I was lost. And I had clients looking to me to help them move forward in their life. And I started getting anxiety and panic attacks and feeling so like there was actually something wrong, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So maybe this time it was something physical, because I could always connect the dots. And I remember going to my acupuncturist office, and I was just telling her everything that was going on. And she just looks at me and goes, wow, that's a lot. And I just sobbed, because I just had someone witness me and acknowledge me and everything that I was holding, everything. I was the energetic container for all of it, and it was sucking me dry. And so I realized I had to dissolve my business, which was so terrifying, because I didn't know, I didn't have those nuggets yet, those divine nuggets. They weren't here. The only message I kept getting over and over was, you have to stop. And my body, our bodies are so wise. We always blame them because they're not operating the way that we think they should. But they are so wise, and they're speaking to you through your emotions, through your symptoms, trying to get your attention, like, hi, sister, you, please, you're sacred, you're important, you're valuable. We can't keep doing this. And so I literally had no choice but to stop, but to surrender. And oftentimes we think, if I just keep going, I'll get there, I'll figure it out, and everything will be okay. I just have to keep moving. The answer comes in the stillness. It never comes in the doing. We have to be still. We have to allow ourselves the space. And our ego's gonna trick us like, yeah, you can be still like after you figure this out. But it's so backwards. Because really we have to stop moving so that we can receive. I like to use the visual that we have this divine skylight. When we're moving and not connected, this is just closed. But when we stop, when we breathe, when we get grounded, when we get centered, when we surrender and allow, all of a sudden, we can hear, we can feel, we can know. But it takes the courage to be still. It takes the courage to not go into the patterns and the habits that you're so used to, that you're so ingrained in doing, that are also validated by the outside world. It takes courage to say, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do me and take the time. So I did. And let me tell you, when the divine works with you, you always want like the whole blueprint. You're like, give me the house, the layout, like the kitchen, the tiles, the lamps, like give me all of it. I want it now in one solid form. You get it brick by brick by brick. So for me, I got presence Oh yeah, okay. Need to be present. Need to do that. Yeah. Need to do presence. Hilarious. Nourishment. Oh yeah, I have not been taking care of myself. Yeah, definitely got to work on that. Pleasure. Yeah, that one's been gone for a while. Truth, connection, beauty, ease, grace, resonance. All these words started to come in, and I just allowed myself to embody them. That's another word, embody. I allowed them to just wash over me, because I literally had nothing else to do. My body was shut down, and I was like, only could fill up at this point. So I was just receiving and writing. And then I heard the words, divine feminine. I was like, ooh, that sounds really nice. I like that. So I looked it up, Google search, divine feminine, saw all the things, and I was like, yes. Ooh, this is the direction. This is the cue. So I would say that the divine feminine, in her infinite wisdom, is a part of us, is always trying to guide us. It's always whispering to us. It's always nudging us. She's the sacred goddess that lives in each one of us. That when we fully embody her, she takes over the world. And she fully steps into her power, which is love, which is compassion, which is creativity, intuition, receiving. This is a big one because we hear feminine, masculine. I'm going to talk about that. We often associate feminine as giving, because we're all givers. That's in our nature as women. But really, our job is to receive. Because when we receive, what we give, tenfold. You guys know, after you come back from a great vacation, you're like soaking in every second of it. You're just kinder to your kids and to your husband. You start maybe thinking of new ideas you want to do around the house, or at work, or in your business. Things start to open up and expand, as Laurel said. Because we need that space to tap in to the magic that wants to pour through us. So when I talk about energy, there's two different qualities. There's masculine and feminine, and we have both. And the masculine is in its divine state. Powerful, driven. It accomplishes goals. It manifests. It is determined. It is loyal. It is loving. It is a protector. The feminine, in her divine state, is also loving, extremely wise, so creative. She's life force, pure life force. And if you deny her, you deny the energy that wants to pour through you. And here's the thing. The masculine is really powerful at taking action. But where does he get his cue from? Her. Because she's tapped in. She's got the direct line. So if you're not using this, and you're just go, make it all happen, you're running on empty. That action is not inspired. It's exhausting. So we have to sink in here first before which thank you, Laurel, for saying that about intentions. So that's the other thing. We look around, we think, oh, well, I should have this, and I should be doing this, and everybody's doing this, so I need to do that. Everyone has this, everyone wants that. Maybe I should have that too. Yeah, I want that too. And then we spin, and we spin, and we spin. We don't get anywhere. We're just like treading in a deeper pile of mud. And now we're dirty. And we're tired. And we're in a hole. And it's only in the surrender and climbing out that we actually know where we need to go. So where do these energies, like how do they play out in our life? For those of you that are entrepreneurs, and I will say that social media, for its many blessings, has also, there's light and dark and everything. And as an entrepreneur, being on social media, I realized, oh wow, well, everybody's doing all these things. I need to be doing all these things. I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. And so we start to compare and we start to judge. The masculine is always focused on the external. And so when it's in its dysfunctional state, we run our lives based on what's happening outside of us, not what's happening here. And if you think about that, if you just think about that for a second, like external, it's like we're not in our bodies anymore. We're being pulled in all these different directions by all these different people, by all these different projects that we think we need to accomplish as they are. To taste the food and not go, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do like a New Year's diet because I'm just putting it all on. Have the frickin' cookie and enjoy it. But what we don't do is we don't enjoy it. We shovel it down, and then we feel guilty. So we keep shoveling. Because that's what takes the guilt away. Well, I already did it. I already blew it. So just pile it in. If you actually take what you need, and if you actually savor it, there's no need for more and more and more and more. You realize, I have enough. I'm so good. I'm so good. Man, I definitely don't have her energy because she is just every place, everywhere, giving all the time. I've also seen what happens on the other side of that. But I grew up witnessing this generation of my mom and my friends' moms of, we can have it too, we have every right, we're gonna take it all. We're gonna be like super women, we can have it all, and we can. But do we want it all? Do we want to be the CEO? So witnessing my mom and the impact that had on my dad, which Cindy, I love that you talked about this too. And he just got fainter and fainter and fainter. And she got noisier and noisier and noisier. We are now on opposite ends of the table, not knowing each other. And I keep hearing, the future is female, the future is female, the future is female. The future is us, together, in harmony. It's not, I'm gonna change the world. You probably will. But you could also allow help. Sisterhood, your partner. You're not required to do it all. That's the wisdom of the divine. It's like, oh, you need a helper? Think, oh, I just wanted someone to do my website. Thank you. We are not meant to do this alone. One of the things that is so sacred to me in my life is sisterhood. Sisterhood, 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 sisterhood. Women honoring, celebrating, supporting, holding, loving each other. No other agenda. we get to create that. We're creating that in this room right now. We get to take that out into our life. We get to ask for what we need. We get to let people help us. That doesn't make us weak. That actually makes us able to do all the things we want to do. That gives us space and room to play. When was the last time we played? I remember really thinking about that, and I got super emotional because I realized I have been so serious for a long time. Because I had to be. And then especially, well, now you're a spiritual teacher and healer. You have to be serious. You have to be quiet voice, meditate. But I'm loud, and I'm crude, and I swear a lot. Fuck, yes. So we get to bring all parts of ourselves to the table. No one is left behind. Every single part of you is valuable. Every single part of you is sacred. So I just want to do a little exercise. If we could all just put our papers down. Your energy takes up more space than it did before. What does that feel like? To be radiating this light out into the world. To be so grounded in your knowing and certainty of yourself and your worthiness and your deserving as a child of God. And that as your light touches others, it's just illuminating what's possible, what's within them to be awakened. Their choice to turn it on. But that your light and your permission to stand in your light, to hold your light, to be the light, activates the light in others. And that maybe you've been taught that that light is too bright or too much. Maybe you've received validation that it's only allowed and okay in certain circumstances. And those are conditions that were placed on you. And that were also placed on every single person on this planet. And as the Divine Feminine steps in, she just begins to remove all these layers, all these things, like veils on a lamp, that are not yours. You don't even want. That contract you and constrict you. That make you doubt yourself, your power. One by one, she invites you to hand them over to her. And as she comes around to face you, I want you to see her. To witness her magnetic beauty. It's got a little brighter in here, didn't it? I want you to stand now. Legs, take up as much space as you want. Claim this. Your presence in this world, your energy in this world. Oh my God, if you knew the power that you have. I look at every single one of you, and I just see the radiance, the magnificence, the beauty, the grace. You are all so worthy and deserving of being seen. You are all important and powerful. And anything that tells you that you aren't, you just remember me. Say, that's a crock of shit. What we do with this in the world, this energy, this magnificence, this presence, we play a little bigger, have a little bit more fun.